welcome to the July 2026 monthly meeting of the Miami Condo Investing Club. This is a virtual meeting that is broadcast live at 4 p.m. South Florida time on the second Wednesday of every month. A recording of the monthly meeting will be available for on-demand viewing at miamicondo.club. This podcast is hosted by Peter Zalewski, a condo consultant, expert witness, and the founder of the Miami Condo Investing Club. The purpose of the monthly meetings is to share real-time, actionable information about the South Florida condo market with club members. If you are not yet a member of the club, we would encourage you to consider joining at miamicondo.club. The club's mission is to foster a community that shares real-time, actionable intelligence on the latest real estate trends, emerging opportunities, and trusted service providers throughout South Florida. Whether you're a do-it-yourself, DIY condo buyer, or a seasoned real estate professional, the club provides invaluable resources, including up-to-date statistics, expert analysis, and access to tailored consulting services. An added benefit of the club is that members will receive access to the new condo ratings agency that will begin evaluating the financial conditions of individual condo projects in the Tri-County South Florida region of Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. Welcome to the July 2026 monthly virtual meeting.
Welcome to the July 2026 monthly meeting of the Miami Condo Investing Club. I'm Peter Zalewski, condo consultant, expert witness, founder of the Miami Condo Investing Club. I want to welcome you to the July meeting. We're going to cover a whole variety of topics. We're talking about everything from the World Cup. Was it a fight or did it actually turn into sales? We're going to be talking about a surge in the South Florida Condo Cliff Index. Went up 34% year over year. We're going to tell you why. We're also going to give you a readout as to where we stand right now at the end of the first half of 2026. We'll lay it all out for you. We'll give you some details. We'll then delve into what happened because of Surfside. Surfside 5-year anniversary. It was marked on June 24th, 2026. 5-year anniversary. As a result of that, we've come out with a new way to look at the condo market. You got the before Surfside, you got the after Surfside, and those towers that are now going forward ever since June 25th, 2026. Day after the 5-year anniversary, we are now calling them surge generation condo towers. Why? Because they're going to incorporate everything that resulted from that tragedy where nearly 100 people died. A $1 billion settlement was paid out to the families of victims, and ultimately laws changed. State of Florida moved towards transparency, both for individual unit owners getting information from condo boards, as well as prospective buyers. On the other side, State of Florida is now requiring condo associations to do regular inspections or studies every 10 years, called a structural integrity reserve study. 30-year mark, you do a milestone inspection. When they do a milestone inspection, we call them vintage condos. We're going to get into all of that. We're going to lay it out. We're going to give you an idea of where we are, where we were, and where we are going based on our best guesstimates. This podcast should last roughly about an hour or so. I'm going to make it available on demand shortly thereafter, so you can tap into it as much as you want. If you are looking for any of the statistics, any of the information we're going to be sharing, send everybody a link, and or you can find it if you go ahead on miamicondo.club. The piece it's got a headline. I'm going to share it shortly with you. It's called World Cup Fades, Surfside Reckoning Arrives, Surge Generation Dawns, and Condo Index Surges. All the information is located at the bottom of that particular link. Some reason you can't get to it, that means you haven't logged in. So club members, make sure you log in. If there's something where you see a paywall, that simply means you haven't logged in, and please go ahead and log in and you're going to get access to all information. We got some great information to be discussing with you, and let's go ahead. We'll get started. Like I said, it's going to take about an hour or so. If anybody needs to leave beforehand, rest assured it will be made available. I'll try to connect everything within that 60-minute period. We're going to cover a lot of terrain. Some of it might be a little bit too rapid fire, therefore watch it on demand or listen to the big picture scenarios, the themes that I'm seeing. And then you can go back on your own and you can kind of look at all the charts that we're going to be referencing and you kind of put the two together and then you form your own opinion. Remember, everybody's take on the market's a little bit different. I tend to lean towards the buy side. I'm looking at it from an investor perspective. Some of you are on the sell side. Some of you are listing agents. Maybe you got a condo you're trying to unload. Maybe it's a condo you're wondering, should I sell it? Should I not sell it? We'll go ahead and we'll lay it all out for you. So it doesn't matter if you're a DIY buyer, do it yourself. Maybe you're a buyer working with a broker. You could also be a listing agent or seller. Can't figure out why you can't sell your particular unit. Could be a lender. You're thinking about should we put money on the street or not, especially if you're portfolioing it. You might also be a regulator. If you're a regulator, you want to know what's going on in the condo market, go ahead and tune in. And more importantly, join the Miami Condo Investing Club if you're not yet a member. And then finally, anybody who's curious or maybe a gadfly, you're also welcome. Everybody's welcome. Here we talk straight on the condo market. We're not authorized by the South Florida real estate industry. We tend to annoy them with the stuff we come out with because we're not sugarcoating things. We're not giving you the Chamber of Commerce talk. We're also not giving you the sell side, what I would call hyperbole. About 1,000 people a day moving to Florida, even though the South Florida population decreased year over year from 2024 July to July 2025 by about 67,000. We're waiting to see what's going to happen. The latest release from Census Bureau, which will be coming out for July of 2026 compared to July of 2025. So if you don't necessarily believe everything you're hearing, we might be a good alternative for you to kind of get your hands on that information. So let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen and we'll just kind of walk through it. I got an hour. I burned 4 minutes. We're going to get everything in there within that 1 hour period. And remember, we are respectful of your time and therefore it would be made available on demand for everybody. So I'm going to share my screen right now and let me pull it up so we can all get rocking and rolling. Here we go, everybody. Here we go, everybody. And let me pull it up. I'm going to the share, and it is, they always change this thing around on me. All right, here we go. Boom. We are now up. Sure that one's right. There we go. All right, everybody, you can see it. This is going to be the page where you go ahead and you can get all the information. That's the headline: World Cup fade, Surfside reckoning arrives, surge generation dawns, all of that type of stuff. So there is the beginning of it. Here's sort of our agenda. I sort of alluded to it relatively quickly. Here's all the information. Remember, we always do this on the second Wednesday of every month. Do it at 4 o'clock. Used to do it at noon. That's out the window. Now we do it at 4 o'clock. Why? Because 5 days a week. On weekdays, we go ahead and we go live when we're talking condos at 4 o'clock. You always tune it in at miamicondo.club. So let's go ahead and work our way down on and take a look at what we're going to be discussing today. So there we go. I'm just going to bypass that real quick. That's just some of the basic stuff. And let's go ahead and get to our preferred lender. Some of you might be out there, you're looking for somebody who can do work for you or as part of your overall deal. We're going to tell you the groups that we work with, the ones that we vouch for, the ones that we've never had a bad experience with. And we would always suggest and recommend, make sure you reach out to 3 different groups. 3 different groups, somebody's going to be able to probably satisfy your need. But here's groups that we would suggest you put in that mix when you're out there searching. So start off with title and escrow service. We got Clarita Rosa over at Candor Title and Closing Services, Candor Title and Closing. You get a link to her website by going to this supplemental information that is made available to you and will be made available to you. And if you got planning, zoning, entitlements, red tags, maybe you got caught doing work you shouldn't have, reach out to Ann Christine Carey of Miami 21 Zoning and Entitlements. Miami 21 Zoning and Entitlements. Maybe some of you need a mortgage. You're looking for a mortgage. Market's changing. Interest rates on mortgages, 30-year fixed, 6.5 going to 6.6, probably going to 7. Much quicker than we go to 5 or even a 4. A lot of people in the industry say you need a 4 or 5 in order to jumpstart housing. Because remember, when interest rates go up, housing goes down. When interest rates go down, housing goes up. And right now, rates are going up and they're moving closer to 7, which is basically stopping the market in its tracks. So you need a lender. Somebody consider Sergio Aliaga over at Union Mortgage Investment Group. He's over in Coral Gables. Then we'll continue on. General contractor. Any of you looking for a general contractor, reach out to Kevin Kellyanis from Chaos Construction. He eliminates the chaos. That's Kevin Kellyanis. Again, you can get the link to his website simply by going to the supplemental information I sent to you. We got wholesaler Jose Suarez, Global Inventory Liquidator. Jose goes in, he buys out companies that are selling off merchandise and or closing, buys it in bulk, buys it cheap, adds a little spread to it, and then turns around and resells it far below retail price. Then if any of you need tile, you need marble, you need granite, you need any of that, Steve Mussolino over at Casa Linda. Casa Linda's over there in Doral, just on the other side of the Palmetto. And they just celebrated 40 years or so of operational. So they've been around a long time, and they are rocking and rolling. So Steve Mussolino, Casa Linda, tile and marble. As we continue down, You guys see a schedule of all of our monthly meetings for the summer buying season. Summer buying season will go from May through October. This is the time when a lot of people who are in the market are either they've been studying it and they're looking for a deal. Maybe they're data driven, looking for a deal. Maybe they're locals looking for a deal. You don't get a lot of casual buyers down this time of year. Many of the casual buyers, the reason they're down here is they come for the events. They come here for the vacation. They come here for the cruise while they're here to catch the bug. Then they decide to start looking for a condo. So those are casual buyers. And what inevitably happens is if and when they do find a place, they end up closing typically in the summer buying season. Q2 and Q3 tend to be the busiest time from a transaction perspective in South Florida. The next busiest time would be the fourth quarter. And then finally, the first quarter is the quietest in South Florida. It's all kind of cyclical. So as a result of that, we got two seasons. We got a wet season and we got a dry season. Wet season will go from May through October. That's where we're in right now. We're 2 months into of a 6-month period. And then we got the dry season, which is going to go from November through April when the weather is fantastic. Everybody wants to come down here. And there was something happening every single weekend. So our next meeting of the Miami Condo Investing Club, the monthly meeting, it's going to be on, again, always second Wednesday of every month. Do it at 4 o'clock. August 12th. August 12th, we'll be touching base with everybody. But as you can see, from the 6-month period of summer buying season, this is the halfway point, effectively, from our meetings perspective. So July 8th, that's the one we're doing right now. And just to remind you, second Wednesday of every month, 4 o'clock for club members. And then typically what we do is we edit the video for sound and template, and we make it available for you to watch on demand, typically by Friday, if not sooner. Continue onward as we're going down. Now we get to the part that's all going to be behind a paywall. Because you're all members, you're going to be able to check this out. So here's what we got. Here's our link for this particular meeting, July the 8th. We'll continue on. Now we got our agenda. We've already gone through the introduction. I told you the preferred service providers. I should tell you about the weekly podcast. I do a podcast 5 days a week on weekdays, no holidays. Monday, I do Miami Condo Mondays with my partner, Jenny Huertas from CVR Realty. Make sure you check out our website, cvrrealty.com. Anybody interested in vintage condos, those condos that are at least 30 years old or older, the ones that are discounted by about 40% below the overall market. Jenny's got a vintage team, so you should reach out to her. Jenny Huerta, cvrrealty.com. We do Miami Condo Mondays. We do that on Mondays. Tuesday, I do the Miami Condo Exchange. We're talking about statistics. What's going on statistically in the South Florida condo market of Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County. That's Tuesday's Miami Condo Exchange. Wednesday, I follow up with the Peter Zalewski Show, where I do one-on-one conversation with somebody I think you need to know, and or I do deep dive into a subject that I think is important. And Thursdays, we talk distressed condo market with condo capitalism. We roll it up the week with a Friday bull versus bear program called Buy, Sell, Hold Miami. I do that with Daniel Hernandez over at Compass Real Estate in Coconut Grove. So that's what's going on in the podcast. Continue on. Next stage is the key indicators. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to get into key indicators, but to give you guys a glimpse of kind of what's coming. After that, we'll give you a recap about Fannie Mae. Remember, the end of July, Fannie Mae is going to eliminate limited review of condo associations for mortgage applications. So that means it's going to become much harder to get a condo loan. It's also probably going to cost more because there's more paperwork involved. And the third component is probably more people are going to get rejected. Probably more people are going to get rejected. So if you're a seller, you need to be aware of this. This might limit a bunch of buyers on the fence. Might kind of eliminate them and leave you with only all cash and or people buying with private money. Typically when they're doing that, they're looking for a discount. So this is not good for valuations if you're a seller. If you're a buyer, this is tremendous because the buying pool will probably shrink, which means if there's fewer buyers in the market and we're already in a buyer's market for condos in South Florida, it could get a little bit dicey, if you will. Let's go ahead and take a look at this list. We got the Fannie Mae, then we're going to talk about the Condo Ratings Agency. We'll get into the World Cup hype. We'll then get into Surfside, how it changed everything. The 588 vintage condo associations located on the Barrier Island, Miami-Dade County, right around where Surfside, where the tragedy occurred. Then we'll get into before Surfside and after Surfside. How do we break it down? We'll follow that up with the SURS generation condo development, and then we'll start to really kind of get into the stats. And I'll show you bar charts. I'm also going to show you charts that you guys will probably find somewhat interesting, because I find them very interesting. So here's a podcast overview as mentioned. Monday's Miami Condo Monday, Tuesday Miami Condo Exchange, Wednesday Peter Zalewski Show, Thursday Condo Capitalism, and we wrap it up with Condo Ratings Agency. Wrap it up with Buy, Sell, Hold Miami.